the channel, guys. Today I'm doing a full review of Kalan by Parfums de Marly, so stay tuned for that. And if you like the content, guys, hit that like and subscribe button. It really helps me grow my channel, and I do appreciate it a lot. Kalan was released this year in 2019 after what some people call a bad release, Sedley, although I personally did enjoy Sedley quite a bit. It just doesn't have the typical performance that Parfums de Marly is known for, and really, in my opinion, that's the main or only real drawback to the fragrance. But, back on topic, Kalan. This one has top notes of spices, black pepper, and blood orange. The middle notes are orange blossom and lavender, and the base notes are tonka bean, moss, amber, woody notes, and white sandalwood. So I did a first impression of this one, and this is really more of a full review to let you know what my more informed opinion of it is now that I've worn this a couple times and I've checked it out a little bit more, and of course a little bit more in depth. Now, after wearing this one a couple times, I do feel like the dominant notes in the opening is definitely the spices. This actually has a very spicy opening. It's not as punchy or quite as in your face as something like Spice Bomb Extreme, which has a very strong pepper, black pepper note in the opening to my nose. This does have a little bit of that black pepper mixed in with other spices to really create a nice spicy accord that's not too in your face, but is very much the dominant note of the fragrance. Now also there is that blood orange, which creates a nice sweetness and mixes really well with the spices, so you get this sort of sweet blood orange with a spicy vibe to it. I find that blood orange also adds a little bit of a freshness to the opening, so it does almost have a slightly fresh feel to it from that orange. And then there is just a little hint of a greenness that I get from what I presume to be the moss, and it has this slightly green quality underneath all of that. I also get a little hint of the woods, but even throughout the entire life of the fragrance, I wouldn't say this is a tremendously woody fragrance. It does have some woodiness to it, but it's never to me a dominant player in this fragrance. Now, the spices actually start to die down within the first 10 or 15 minutes, and this gets more of a balance between spice and sweet. Some of the other sweet notes start to come through a little bit more, the tonka bean, and it does become a little bit more balanced during the middle portion. Now, the orange blossom and the blood orange does certainly hang around for a while and definitely keeps this one with a little bit of a fruitiness, a little bit of a freshness, and a little bit of that orange vibe for quite some time. As this progresses longer, the spices definitely die down and dissipate, and this becomes a much sweeter fragrance where you get, still to my nose, some of that sort of orange fruitiness with an overall sweetness. Now, a lot of people have compared this one to Baccarat Rouge 540, and I really only get a little bit of that in the opening. What I get is that sort of latex vibe that Baccarat Rouge 540 has to my nose. It's sort of this latex, medicinal, sweet kind of a vibe. And this does kind of have that in the opening, but the resemblance is actually quite small, and I think this fragrance overall is really its own thing and definitely stands as its own fragrance. As for the woodiness, in the dry down this does have a little bit more woods, and it is a little woodsy throughout, but from my personal view, what I was hoping for this fragrance was a lot more wood forward fragrance, and this certainly doesn't have that. It is more dominated by spices, followed by the sweetness and the orange from the orange blossom and the blood orange. And it does, of course, underneath that throughout the life of the fragrance, have some woodiness to it as well. So for me, that was a little bit of a letdown with this fragrance. But this one does have very good performance. It lasts easily 8 hours and can easily last longer than that. The projection is pretty good, 2-3 hour range, and it's not absolute beast mode, but it certainly is a nice cloud, nice sillage. People will smell you as you walk by. They won't have to get too close to you. And I wouldn't say this really dies down to a full-on skin scent until much, much later in the fragrance lifespan. So it does have good performance, something that people are definitely much more familiar with when it comes to a Parfums de Marly fragrance. It certainly fits in, at least to my experience, with what people come to expect from Parfums de Marly. But I think overall, I do like this fragrance. It's not one that I love. You know, the bottle's really awesome. I love the red. It looks really great. It's not quite what I was hoping it would be, but it is a nice fragrance, and it is one that's definitely well suited for the fall, for the winter. I mean, a lot of people have said you could pull this off in the summer, and with that light freshness from the blood orange and the orange blossom, probably could if you didn't spray too much. But this is definitely better suited for colder weather. So overall, I do think this is one that is worth getting your nose on. It has a very nice spicy vibe with the blood orange and the orange blossom that mixes in really well. And it does have some nice undertones of woodiness. It's not one that I love, but I do like it, and you never know, you might just love this fragrance. So anyways, that's it for this one, guys. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video.